What's good, y'all? How you guys feeling on this beautiful morning? I'm not gonna lie, I just made me a good bowl of oatmeal, some hash browns, and some freaking toast and a coffee. That thing was busting for real. Like, I'm not gonna lie, for real, I've been like trying to get a little bit big. I'm trying to gain like 10 pounds, but like, it's been hard. I'm not gonna lie. So if you got any advice on that, let me know, cause I'm trying to put on some weight for real. But anyway, today I'm gonna show you guys how to make a Afro pop kind of beat. It's like an Afro beat and pop kind of beat. You know, like an Afro beat and then pop kind of beat. Probably for somebody like A Star, T Savage, and you know, probably some American artists too, like Jason Derulo. You know, he been doing Afro, Chris Brown, and all that good stuff. But let me know who you see on this beat. So yeah, we gonna get straight into it. Like always, go ahead and tickle that like button, leave a comment, subscribe. Let me know who your favorite Afrobeat artist is, and let's get right into it. So for me, the first thing that I think of when it comes to Afro pop is using mallets and bills. So that's why I went to Contact. I went to 40's very own keys, not a bad bank at all. And I laid out this progression right here. So as you can see, it has a lot of bounce to it with the rhythm, and it's a very simple progression too. It's literally just 7 notes or 7 chords, literally just 4 notes in the chord and just going down to different chords. So pretty much right here we have a G sharp minor chord, down to an E major chord, down to a D sharp 7, and then back up to an E major chord. So to make something similar, right? Like literally you just want to go for something that's bouncy and has some rhythm to it. So let's say that we want to start in D minor, right? So I'm gonna make a D minor chord, D minor 7th. Alright, now let's make something bounce like a catchy rhythm. Alright, now let's take this and then go down to like an A. Now let's go up to an A sharp. Alright, then you wanna go ahead and do all R, randomize the velocities, and then do all S to make it, you know, sound strummed. And then let's put it up to like E minor. See how it sound. So yeah, something like that. You see how simple that was? So for that, just to EQ, cut out some of the lows. And you know it's not a tier beat without layering. So we go to SRX World and grab a different mallet just to make it sound more full. And here's what this one sound like. If you've been watching my videos, then you should know how important layering is. Like literally almost every song that you'll listen to that's like Afro beats, R&B or whatever, even some rap, it's gonna be a lot of layering for, you know, a fuller sound. So that, just the EQ again, cut out the lows. Then we layer one more time. I went to SRX Orchestra and grabbed a different mallet with like a different timbre to it, and basically copy down the same exact pattern, but put in some extra notes to give it an extra bounce to it. So here's what this one sound like. So all those together sound like this. See how fuller it sounds? Okay, so for the next thing, you know, we're kind of layering again, but really we're not. We're just copying the main chords and elongating it. Is that the right word to say? I don't even know for real. But we got Expand, very great plugin for Afro beats. We got this EP, Soft Rotor EP, and here's what this one sound like. It's gonna be a very good layer in the background. So for that, all the time I like to use a magic switch, free chorus plugin for my Rhodes, then a wider to make it sound wider in your headphones. Now for almost every Afrobeat that I hear, it's usually a lead or like a counter melody in the melody. So I went to Contact and I grabbed this Levy Zeppelin out of 40's own keys again and laid out this little pattern right here. This one I played by ear. For that, we have an EQ to make it sound more like a radio effect, and then some reverb with some ROM. So that wasn't the only counter melody that I used. I also used another one from, I think, the same bank as well. This one's gonna be played at a different time though, so it's not clashing with the other one. Yeah, this one I got this organ out of 40's very own keys, and this one sounds like this. I think that's good to have different parts of a song that's playing different instruments just to give it some more soul to it. So now we have a little saxophone playing, and usually in like a lot of Afro beats and amapiano, it's like a little dun 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 for some rhythm. So that's what I got right here. Now, I'm not that good enough at guitar yet, but promise me by next year I'm gonna be like a 4 or a 5. I don't even know for real. But so in the meantime, I'm using ckay for some of my guitar loops. I got the World in My Hands bank, and I chose this one right here. But when I tell you, bro, like, if you could learn guitar, it's gonna be a life changer, or at least like a kind of a life changer, because like, I be seeing some of the stuff that people be doing with guitars on their beats. I'm like, dang, man, I want to do that, so I'm gonna do it. No, don't worry about it. Next, we got a sub bass, because that's pretty popular in a lot of beats. So I went to expand and grab this Unison Me bass, and this one sounds like this. Very simple, just copy down the bass notes and the chords. Now next, of course, you know, we gotta add some vocals in there, especially some female vocals. So I went to the FL Cloud Bank and grabbed some vocals, some vocal chops, and put down this right here. For that, a delay, some pancake for some panning, and EQ to make it sound more muffled, then a reverb. Usually when it comes to using vocals in beats, you don't want to overdo it, because I'm not gonna lie, when I was first making beats, I will use like a whole 8 stanza vocal or whatever, like them really like singing or rapping their hearts out, and like literally it sounded good on the beat, but an artist like they don't really have much room with that. So you either want to use a vocal that's like not much lyrics and just like something like that, or just make it sound more muffled for real. You know what I'm saying? Alright. Now we get into the beat. Now we get into the drums. Alright, so first I started off with a simple 4 on the floor kick. Sound like this. Very simple, very common. So if I'm making like a more Afro pop kind of beat, usually I look to use a clap as a snare or as one of the snares. So we get this right here. Next, we're gonna layer that with a snare and a rim. Then we get some perks in there like a conga and a different snare for an accent. It just gives us some extra bounce to the melody. Then the open hat. Very simple. Then first we have a shaker, sounds like this. You get the point. And then next we got a hi-hat loop, which I'm not gonna lie, at first I used to not use as much hi-hats in Afro beats because like I'm like, it's an Afro beat, you just need a shaker. But I'm not gonna lie, this little hi-hat loop I got out of this pop drum kit, and it went well with the shaker. I think it's like a real good little background for the chorus. Sounds like this. So now we got some basses. So first one is gonna be a regular synth bass that I got out of this contact bank. I think it's out of the 40's very own keys again. I'm not gonna lie, like they be on a roll for real, for real. The bass thump, and it sounds like this. This one's actually just copying the same bass chords out of the melody. I'm not gonna lie, at first it was like a little bit weak, like so with no effects it sound like this. But then, you know, when you give it some steroids, You know, we got a decapitator on an A preset. Put that drive up a little bit or wider, make it a little bit more thick. Then the EQ to boost some of that low, so you know you get this. You know, she don't wanna. What she say? She don't want a little boy. She don't want a little pup. She want the big dog, right? Next, we got the log drum, which I'm not gonna lie, is probably one of the hardest things to me, but most fun thing to make. Cause you know, it's, if you do it right, it'll sound good, but if not, it's gonna sound kind of, you know, a little bit, right? So first, I'm gonna show you what it sounds like. We get this right here. Yeah, that was a mouthful for real. So I'm not gonna lie, you know, to make log drums, it's really about practice for real. The more you do it, then the better you get at it. I'm not gonna lie. The first time that I made a log drum pattern, it was definitely buns for real. Like, we don't talk about that. But the more that you do it though, it's gonna get better, obviously. So to make something that sounds good, first, when you make a log drum melody, just make it simple first. Just go with the bass notes in the chord. So, you know, G sharp, D sharp, and all that good stuff. And then after that, go ahead and add your own rolls and parts that make sense. So, say like that, you know, I want to add a roll right here. Like, you know, that's not bad. If I wanted to, I would leave it right there. But I don't feel like it, right? So it's about finding those right pockets to put that log drum in, if that makes sense. Like, you know, the right timing and the right note and the right velocity. Because, you know, with log drums, it can go from loud to high and have a different timbre to it. If you want a whole tutorial on how to make log drums, let me know. Or if you like, you know, if you need a one-on-one help on making, you know, a beat or whatever, let me know. Just hit me on Instagram or whatever, and I'll be down to help you on Discord or something like that. All right. And then for the last things for real, it's like the simple Afrobeat stuff, like the little reverse clap. Then we got some extra fills and all that good stuff, and you know how that go for real, right? So I'm gonna show you what the beat sounds like in 1 second, but before that, thank you if you made it to the end of the video. Hopefully you liked it, enjoyed it, learned something from it. If you did, like I said, go ahead, leave a like, comment, subscribe, follow my socials at TLaron. Let me know what you want to see next. Go ahead, you know, drinking your water, you know, that's very important. You know, working out, all that good stuff. Yeah. That's about it for real. So yeah. Peace.